guess what is your kind of pipeline, to use that whole term, of how you, where these startups or projects or whatever come from? Sure. Is that from academia or just individuals or?
Sure. It's really a range of sources, and we spend a lot of time trawling through universities, also looking at government labs, and just trying to look in for new sources of technology and new sources of innovation. Sometimes it comes from two guys in Silicon Valley in a garage somewhere, or maybe in Haifa in Israel. Sometimes it comes out of a university. So if I think about the four technologies that I showed you today, so Xometry, the founders effectively came out of a government lab, and there are people who are doing lots of artificial intelligence and machine learning for government applications who spun out. Clearpath actually came out of a university, I think the University of Waterloo, because the company is based in Canada. And that university has a very strong capability in the area of mechatronics and robotics. Upskill, the founders originally were with a federal government contractor. It's interesting, if you look at augmented reality and virtual reality, virtually I would say the two biggest investors in that sector are either from the entertainment space, people working on games, or the military. And if you look at the genesis of most of the technology coming out in the area of augmented and virtual reality, a lot of things either come from the military or from the entertainment and gaming space. And in this particular case, the technology actually spun out of the military. Sarkos was actually originally, the technology came from the University of Utah, but then was acquired by a defense company, Raytheon, and then was spun out. So you can see there's sort of a theme in some of the things that I've been showing and discussing with you today. A lot of times government or military technology plays a role, a lot of times academic research plays a role as well.
What areas really excite you guys at the moment? And the second one is, any advice to people pitching to people like you?
Good questions. So let me take the first one. So I think there are a range of sectors that we continue to look at, which I talked about earlier. I think one of the things we're trying to spend a lot more time on is software, in particular manufacturing software. Software that can make manufacturing operations more efficient, more effective, software that can actually lead from the manufacturing floor to the logistics space. Because we define manufacturing very broadly, as you can see. So supply chain and logistics is a major area of focus for us as well. And seeing how software can sort of impact that flow is really key. I think we've done a lot in the area of robotics. We still continue to look in that space. I think there's lots of great technology. I think the key thing is sort of understanding what the applications are and ensuring these applications are scalable. I would say that things like blockchain and Bitcoin, and figuring out how these kinds of security-oriented technologies for data can be incorporated into the manufacturing flow. As you can see, when you talk about distributed operations, it's data flowing everywhere, and figuring out ways to make the data more secure, particularly handoffs and data transactions from one place to another is very key. So I think all these new technologies around secure transmission of data, which include things like blockchain and Bitcoin, I think are very key. So to go to your second question, I think that one of the things that people on my side of the table continuously think about when they listen to an entrepreneur is understanding how something can be relevant and scalable. Because I think we see lots of great technology. Literally I would say, 70-80% of my job is actually just hearing people pitch, new technologies, new companies, etc. But I think one thing we try to understand is great technology, but how can that application scale? How can you have a broader range of users? How can it lead to revenue? It's amazing how many things we see that are great technology, but they haven't really been touched by the customer yet. You know, a strong validation is actually not the entrepreneur, but a customer. So if you have a customer telling me why this thing works, why it's great, that's going to have a lot more weight than the entrepreneur telling me why it's great. Okay, so I think the more the entrepreneur can actually engage with customers, get them using and working with the technology, even if it's for free, even if you're giving it away, at least give us that reference point. People who we can talk to, who use the technology, who can talk about some of the practical applications. And it's amazing how many things work in a lab, under very controlled conditions. You have a lot of postdocs, people with PhDs breathing all over it, and it all works. Get it out to the real world, and you have all kinds of problems. I'll never forget when I used to work at Bell Labs, and we do contracts for the military. And it's kind of interesting because the military love things that are robust. And I always remember one of the big tests they have is they get it all packaged and they drop it. And then they pick it up and then they test it. And they say, well, something has got to be able to withstand the drop test. Because someone is going to use this in the field, the first thing they're going to do pulling it out of the tube is they're going to drop it. If it only works in controlled conditions, but it doesn't work after it's been subjected to stress, vibration, etc., then it probably doesn't work very well. So being able to test things and examine things under real world conditions, ideally with customers who can speak to the relevance, I think is one of the most important things that an entrepreneur can do. Well, I think I'm running out of time. I'd like to thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you.
Yes,